Hello, maybe Jordan L. We meet again. Story time, part 4. Today, it's Funny Bones. Woo! And now I'm going to read it kind of like this, so you can see the pictures as well, because that's just how I roll. So, let's get into the story. This is how the story begins. On a dark, dark hill, there was a dark, dark town. In the dark, dark town, there was a dark, dark street. In the dark, dark street, there was a dark, dark house. In the dark, dark house, there was a dark, dark staircase. Down the dark, dark staircase, there was a dark, dark cellar. And in the dark, dark cellar, some skeletons lived. Woo! There was 3 skeletons. A big one, a little skeleton, and a dog skeleton. One night, the big skeleton sat up in bed and he scratched his skull. "What shall we do tonight?" he said. "Let's take the dog for a walk," said the little skeleton, "and frighten somebody." "Good idea," the big skeleton said, and there they are hatching their plan. So, the big skeleton and the little skeleton and the dog skeleton left the dark, dark cellar. They climbed the dark, dark staircase and they stepped out into the dark, dark street. They walked past the houses and the shops. They walked past the zoo and the police station, and they went into the park. The big skeleton scratched his skull. "What shall we do now?" he said. "Let's play on the swings," said the little skeleton, "and throw a stick with the dog, and frighten somebody." "Good idea," said the big skeleton. So, the big skeleton and the little skeleton and the dog skeleton walked around the dark, dark pond, past the dark, dark tennis courts, and up to the dark, dark swings. And there they are running off to play. The big skeleton and the little skeleton played on the swings. They threw a stick for the dog, and then suddenly something happened. The dog skeleton chased a stick, tripped over a park bench, bumped into a tree, and ended up as a pile of bones. "Oh no, he's falling apart. Poor doggy." "Look at that," the big skeleton said. "He's all come to pieces. What shall we do now?" "Let's put him together again," said the little skeleton. So the big skeleton and the little skeleton put the dog skeleton together again, and they sang a song while they did it. And the song goes, "The toe bone's connected to the foot bone's connected to the leg bone's connected to the hip bone's connected to the backbone." Ooh, look at the poor confused dogs getting put together in all different kinds of ways. Then they got mixed up. "Is that a toe bone?" the little skeleton said. "Where does this one go?" said the big skeleton. When they finally finished, the big skeleton said, "That dog looks a bit funny to me." "So he does," said the little skeleton. "We got his tail on the wrong end, and his head." "Woof," said the dog skeleton. "Woof is woof backwards. They've really got him messed up. Look, he's got his head where his butt should be." At last, the dog was properly back together again. The big skeleton and the little skeleton sang another song. These bones come back again, come run around the park again, frighten people in the dark again. Ah! The big skeleton scratched his skull. "That reminds me," he said. "We forgot to frighten somebody." "Let's do it on the way home then," said the little skeleton. "Good idea," said the big skeleton. So the big skeleton, the little skeleton, and the dog skeleton left the dark, dark swings, went out into the dark, dark town, and tried to frighten somebody. "I wish we had a nice little boy to frighten. I wish we had a nice old lady." They're going to frighten someone, I'm sure. The trouble was, there wasn't anybody. Everyone was in bed. Even the policemen in the police station were in bed. Even the animals in the zoo. But of course, the skeleton animals, they were awake. And, skeleton long neck cutie! Ah! Squeak! Snort. That would definitely be the skeleton pig. "Gee up, Nelly." "Good evening." "Good evening." Who's a cheeky boy then? Have a cup of tea. Pretty Polly, put the kettle on, mother." "Let's have a ride on the elephant skeleton," the little skeleton said. "Let's have a word with the parrot skeleton." The big skeleton scratched his skull again. "Let's keep out of the way of the crocodile skeleton." Although he does look like a friendly guy, doesn't he? When they were back in the street, and when they still could not find anybody to frighten, the big skeleton said, "What shall we do now?" The little skeleton scratched his skull. "Let's frighten each other," he said. "That's better than nothing." "Good idea," said the big skeleton. And then they started to fight each other. "I'm gonna get you!" "Gotcha!" Ah! So after the big skeleton frightened the little skeleton frightened the big skeleton, and then the big skeleton frightened the dog skeleton, and the dog skeleton frightened them both. Meow! Wah! Ooh! No, dog skeleton pretending to be a ghost. They hid around corners and they frightened each other. They climbed up lampposts and they frightened each other. They jumped out of dustbins and they frightened each other. All the way home. And that is how the story ends. On a dark, dark hill, there was a dark, dark town. In the dark, dark town, there was a dark, dark street. In the dark, dark street, there was a dark, dark house. And in the dark, dark house, there was a dark, dark staircase. And in the dark, dark staircase, there was a dark, dark cellar. And in the dark, dark cellar, some skeletons lived. And they still do! Woo! And in case you forgot how you put the dog back together again, in case you ever happen to fall into pieces. The toe bone's connected to the foot bone bone's connected to the leg bone's connected to the hip bone, and the hip bone connected to the backbone. Woo! Until next time, goodbye.